And today I'm back with this video I've been waiting about a month or so to make. In this video I'm gonna swatch some paints I bought from Teoh. You can find him on YouTube. He has lots and lots of videos about watercolor sketching, book reviews, anything you can think of, art related, painting and drawing. You can find him on his channel. Also, he is selling some watercolor and I bought a few. And it took them about a month to come, but that, of course, with the COVID and the postal delays, the customs, I was not too worried about. They finally made it, and I want to swatch them. These are some colors that I wanted to play with for some time, just from watching other YouTubers, other watercolor artists. Some of them I have, like this beautiful turquoise. I think that's PG 50. I'm gonna swatch them on this paper. It's a Strathmore watercolor travel pad. It's 100% cotton. I found it accidentally of one of my Walmarts. I don't think you can find it in any Walmart. Like one of the Walmart near me doesn't have it, but this other one that's a little far away, I can find this pad and also some travel notebooks. I think they're very pretty. You might see them on YouTube. I think they have several reviews, and also if you look for Strathmore products you can find them there. This pad is 8 by 10 inches and it contains 12 sheets. I like the quality of the paper. Of course, it's not arches, but it's close enough, and I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these colors and compare them with other swatches I have and other pigments. I might do that in this video or in the next. So the paints arrived in this metal tin you just saw, and they traveled very well, I have to admit. Oh, and I forgot to wet the page before I applied the color, and you might recognize the buff titanium from Daniel Smith. Before I even thinking of buying this color, I've been using my Sennelier Naples Yellow, which I would desaturate or change, neutralize a little bit of the yellow with purple, and I would use that for any sand or beach or anything that would have this color. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wet the page before I apply the color, just so I can see how the color travels. And there's plenty of YouTube videos on how to swatch much more professional. And then on my previous swatches that I used the Arches watercolor paper, I draw a black line with a Sharpie marker just so I can see the opacity. Like you can see this Piemonte genuine. Also, what I realized after a while is that I'm using a lot of paper, and Arches is no cheap. And then also for some of the colors I might still use Arches, because especially with the Primatech colors or specialty colors, you can see how nicely they granulate. And then of course I apply a second layer to see if they glaze, and I try to do some lifting tests, but that's for another video. So let's go back to my colors that I bought from Teoh. The next one is the Naples Yellow from Daniel Smith. And of course I already have a Naples Yellow from Sennelier. And in some of the videos I watched, there were some differences that make this one maybe more interesting. But now that I swatch it for myself, I think they're very close. I expected it to be slightly maybe peachy, close to not quite shell pink, but some of those Naples Yellow reddish. Maybe I should look into that, but it's a beautiful color. Let me make sure I'm in frame. Then I bought several reds. Surprisingly, although I like red colors, I don't find I paint a lot with it. And the label of the pen, Teoh was nice enough to write them on the side. This is probably, I cannot tell. I know I bought a Mayan red, and he also sent me an additional pen because I choose the airmail or something about postage. But this is a pretty pinkish red color. And before I started swatching, and they'll dry now, hopefully some of the glare will go away. Before I started swatching, I put just a little bit of water. Oh, and again, I forgot. Oh, this is really nice. And this might be some quinacridone magenta. I'm not sure. Or he sent me a Stephen Quiller pen. I never tried those paints. I don't remember seeing them in the stores, but of course I didn't look for them. I know Stephen Quiller from his books about watercolor. Oh, yeah, but this is a very pretty color. And even this pinky color here, as it dries, it reminds me of Quinacridone Coral by Daniel Smith. And the next one was a color I think I'm most excited about. I think it's Potter's Pink by Winsor & Newton. I watched way too many videos before I decided to get this particular one. They had them compared side by side. So of course we know Potter's Pink, it's harder to re-wet. And this one, it's soaked a little bit, but still. I think it's kind of like a brownish pink. Even before I bought Denise's palette, I was not sure. I didn't know exactly what to do with browns or other colors. I don't quite understand how to use them in paintings without making my whole painting kind of brown and color desaturating. So it's still a learning curve about using neutral. This might be the Quinacridone Fuchsia. Oh yes, look at that. That's really pretty. I like kind of the neon-y color. I wonder how light fast it is. Or this might be Stephen Quiller's magenta. We'll see at the end. I have the pans in the box. I'll try not to move them because some of the reds are very hard to tell what they are when you just look at them in the box. And next I bought a few violets, Daniel Smith Indigo. That was something I like. I have a Winsor & Newton Indigo, and to my surprise, to me it looks more like a Prussian color, like a Prussian blue. Indigo, to me, it always have like a little bit of violet, or it tends toward violet. So that's, oh yeah, this is really, really nice. This is kind of what I think of indigo. Somewhat a little darker than Indanthrone or Indanthrone blue. And this is very nice color. I also bought the Mayan dark blue, and after some consideration I thought, oh, maybe they would be too close together, but then I already placed my order, so that's no problem. I like the dark colors anyway. So the next one, it looks slightly violet. Might be the Purpurite Genuine. It's a very nice color. It's similar to Potter's Pink, but slightly bluer, I would say. It has some interesting granulation. I'm very happy with how this color looks. It looks really, really nice. I'm not doing a good job. I'm trying to kind of fast forward to this video. My husband is still working from home, So hopefully soon he'll go back to the place where he works, and I will have more time to film and edit and do all the art stuff that I like without the possibility of being interrupted. So the next one, this might be the Mayan blue dark, or dark Mayan blue, and it's very similar to the indigo color. It just slightly bluer. It reminds me of Winsor & Newton indigo, but I really like this Daniel Smith indigo. But then I like all PB60, the pigment, and of course I have a cat hair. Yeah, and I think this is the Mayan red. Yep, it looks to me very close to the quinacridone coral from Daniel Smith. I expected more granulation, but maybe I needed to play with the water. And we're almost close to the end. I got the 10 colors, and then Teoh gave me one extra. But he has many colors to choose from, different brands. And yeah, I think it's a very good deal. Of course, if you have a patience to wait for shipping. This is a cobalt blue dark. This is a Winsor & Newton color. And like any cobalt, may be harder to re-wet, but it's still very intense, very pretty. I really like this blue. This reminds me of, I call it school blue, because when I went to school we have uniforms that have this color. So it's not a color I'm too fond of, or I don't know, it's just something I have a hard time painting with. I know you were supposed to mix it with other colors, desaturate it, make me look more natural. So I still have to learn how to use that. Same with ultramarine, not my favorite. I would rather pick a indentrine blue on my palette. And best one, beautiful cobalt teal blue or light blue. Very, very nice. I have one from Schminke, and I have a similar color from Core, from the set I bought around Christmas. I don't know if I swatched it or made a video about it, but I might have to do that. But here we go. These are the colors that I picked from Teoh. He has many more to choose from. It was hard narrowing down to just 10. Of course, he sells more. You can buy, I think, up to 24, 48. And they come very nicely packed. The pens are full to the brim. And I already messed my Naples yellow, but that's fine. They're gonna get contaminated anyway. I'm gonna let it dry, put my name of the paint and the pigment on these swatches, and then I'm gonna put them in my binder. I'm gonna move this to the side. I'll show you my binder that I come up with, just so I can have a better record. I'm gonna zoom out. You might see my tripod, but that's fine. And my little stickers. So this is the binder I come up with to keep all my swatches, and a list of the pigments that are there, and the glare. And these page protectors are actually coins. They're meant for coins, but I like them that they're smaller and I can fit more stickers on one page. So I have them separated. I went on handprint.com and wrote down some of the pigments he recommends to use, and a few information about this 40, I think there was 40 pigments. Oh, excuse me. that he recommends. And here they are. Thank you for watching, and come back. And my paints are dried, and this is how the little swatches look. They're not very big, but that's okay. All I need is a little representation of how the color looks. And of course I could have made that dark line so I can see if the paint is transparent or opaque, but this project is really not for that intended purpose. Here's my binder, and you can see I copied from the handprint.com the colors the way he had them separated. This is the magenta colors and all the pigments, and then I'm gonna look for the pigments of the paints that Teoh sent me, and I'm gonna find their right spot in the book. I have here from Stephen Quiller was the quinacridone magenta PR 122, and I have several colors using the same pigment, and I know there's a lot of glare. I'm gonna try to tilt this just a little bit. That should do, and put something behind this notebook. That's a little better. And this is the quinacridone magenta PR 122. I have the opera pink from Daniel Smith, uses the same pigment, and I think it has some fluorescent dye. Helios purple for Senelia. Those are very close, almost identical. And then the quinacridone magenta from Core, which went on very smooth on this paper. This is the Strathmore 100% cotton. So this is a very easy process. I just slide my card in here, and I can keep it for further reference. And next one, the quinacridone fuchsia, also the pigment for handprint.com. They classified it under the magenta colors. There's really nothing like it. I don't have another PR202. I know under the reds, even like this alizarin crimson from Da Vinci, I put it here just because of the pigment PV19, but it's more of a warm red than a magenta color. So this pigment 202, I'm gonna see if I find a better match. Yeah, if I compare it with the pigments under the red group, you can tell this is definitely slightly more shifting towards blue, violet, pink. This permanent alizarin crimson for Core, it's a PR77. That is somewhat similar but still much warmer. So for this card, I'm probably going to put it somewhere here, maybe right here at the bottom under the Rhodonite Genuine, until I get to shift my swatches around and find him a more permanent home. Next on my list is the PR233, the powder pink, and I think I have that pigment listed under, I want to say, the earth pigment. I'm looking for the reds, but it's definitely not here. I'll keep it for later in my little contraption sliding. And also the Mayan red 287. I don't think it's even on the handprint. I didn't see it there unless he put it under the magenta. No, 287. And then again, I think the handprint.com was last updated some time ago. Probably more pigments have been discovered since. This is my red page, and you can see quinacridone coral. To me, they're almost identical. Quinacridone coral, it's a 209 pigment. I'm trying to bring them closer to the camera. Maybe quinacridone coral, it's slightly more pinkish and clear. Mayan red, a little warmer. But if you have quinacridone coral, you probably don't need Mayan red. I just wanted to try it because of the granulation, but of course I don't see anything spectacular like you would see with the cobalt colors. So maybe it's just a user error. I might try it later on and see. But for right now, the Mayan red, I'll put it right here next to the quinacridone coral. Moving on, oranges. There's not much in here because I guess oranges are so easy to mix. I only have this transparent pyro orange from Core. That's really, really beautiful. And then the Pernon orange from Daniel Smith. This is probably the only oranges I will need for a while. Earth colors, yes, and here's where we have Potter's Pink. Under the earth colors, it resembles this violet iron oxide from Da Vinci. The oxide, it's slightly darker, and of course the granulation is not that spectacular. This Indian red, it's a totally different color. This Piemonte Genuine, maybe the hue is similar, but the Piemonte can get really dark and it has those black dots granulation. I'm just gonna put it here for now. Yeah, they only have one paper, and all these earth colors, most of them are from Denise's earth friendly palette that she put together from the paints from Da Vinci. I got this Core, I think some of are from my Core set, this burnt sienna, raw umber. I still prefer Da Vinci's. It's slightly more neutral. I feel like this Core raw umber, it's slightly greenish. Also Vine Dyke brown from Core, I think like that's really beautiful. And then all these yellow ochres, gold ochres. To me, they're all similar. I can see this Da Vinci raw sienna deep, maybe a little less yellow, more neutral, but that's very insignificant to me. And then I have the Naples yellow, and I can compare it with Sennelier, and side by side I might have to bring them closer to the camera. The Naples yellow from Sennelier, definitely more yellow than Daniel Smith. Try not to cast the shadow from my phone. Yes, I like this. I'll have to try it in paintings and see how it mixes with the similar mixes I use for the Sennelier Naples yellow. And I try to see if I have something. Maybe this Hansa yellow deep reminds me a little bit, but this is definitely yellower. I'm trying to see if I have other. The Nugan Bosch uses the PY 97. And maybe when I looked at the earth colors, if I dilute this gold ochre, I would probably get a similar hue. But I like to try different colors, already mixed colors. Mixing colors is not my strong point, especially with watercolors. It can be very tricky because of the properties of the pigment, and if it's a mixed, it's a paint made of two pigments, then of course in mixes the color would not behave the same as if it would be just one pigment. And this is my cobalt turquoise, and I'm starting in a collection. I have these three right here. The Schminke one is the bluest and probably less granulating. A Core, it's also very beautiful, like midway granulating and also slightly bluer. And Daniel Smith, definitely the greenest and most granulating of all. Very beautiful colors. Try to put them in some light to kind of see the differences, and you can pick whichever you like. If you don't like granulating colors, go for Schminke. More granulating, Daniel Smith, and the Core, kind of middle of the row. I like how smooth and even it is and still have granulation. But again, choose whatever fits your style. And now to my favorite page, the blue colors. I have the Mayan Blue Genuine, and I don't know, I have mixed feelings about it. And you can see it. Oh, maybe it should be in frame right here. I'll take it out. Do I need both of them? Probably not. Definitely quite different. Mayan Blue Genuine has that greener undertone, dark blue, much closer to the Indentrine. I have here Anthracnone Blue and Indentrine Blue from Da Vinci. To me they look much similar. Maybe this dark blue it's slightly desaturated. And up top, this is the Winsor & Newton Indigo, and you can tell this Mayan Blue Genuine, it's closer in hue to this color. The Cobalt Blue Deep, the granulation, of course, exceptional. And compared to the ultramarines, very little difference. Maybe the Cobalt Blue is slightly purple. I want to compare it with Smalt, just for the hue of it. Here's my violets. This is Smalt, and definitely it's come somewhat in between as hue. Smalt is, this is a Winsor & Newton color. Smalt is definitely much moving towards violet. So Cobalt Blue Deep, if you like granulating color, then this is it. I'll slide it right in here. Daniel Smith Indigo, definitely not the same color with Winsor & Newton Indigo. Not even with this Anthracnone Blue. Definitely the black that's what's added. It's definitely changed the color. Mayan Dark Blue, it's probably like a greener, also closer to Winsor & Newton Indigo. So I'm not sure exactly where I would file this Daniel Smith Indigo. I'm trying to look at my black grays. Maybe Moonglow. It's closer in hue. Of course, Moonglow slightly violet, shifting towards violet. You can tell very, very similar hues. But for now, I'll put this Daniel Smith Indigo with this Anthracnone Blue, just because PB60 is the first pigment listed, and Mayan Dark Blue and Mayan Blue Genuine, they can stay here with the Winsor & Newton Indigo, and I can put those in later. The last two colors, the Purpurite Genuine, which it turned out nicer than I thought. Of course, my application was a little spotty, and then the beautiful Buff Titanium. I don't have any color quite like Purpurite. I would say it's somewhere in between the Permanent Mauve and the more bluer Dioxazine Purple. Amethyst Genuine, definitely much bluer, so I would put it somewhere here with the Permanent Mauve, more desaturated form. And Buff Titanium, I have nothing like it. I might file it right here with this core white pigment. This is my colors binder. If you would like more videos, how I organize my color, how I create color palettes, just let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. This would be quite a long video, but I hope you